The lifeboats were gone, the logbook open, and not a soul remained. The year was 1872. A brigantine, a merchant ship named Mary Celeste was found adrift in the Atlantic, sails partially set, cargo untouched. Yet no one was aboard. It wasn't a wreck, no distress signal, just an empty vessel sailing silently towards an unknown fate. This wasn't a sudden storm, a rogue wave, or a battle at sea. The Mary Celeste was in perfectly navigable condition. Her cargo, nearly 700 barrels of industrial alcohol, was intact. But the crew of 7, Captain Briggs, his wife, his young daughter, and 8 experienced sailors, had simply vanished. The discovery was made on December 5, 1872, by the British brig *de Gracia*. Captain David Morehouse spotted the Mary Celeste about 400 miles east of the Azores. She was sailing erratically, her course suggesting something was deeply wrong. Upon boarding the *de Gracia*'s first mate, Oliver DeVoe, found an unsettling scene. The ship's single lifeboat was missing. The binnacle holding the compass was dislodged, and a single cutlass, a sailor's sword, lay on the floor of the captain's cabin. Inside, the ship's logbook was found open, its last entry dated November 25, 10 days before her discovery. It recorded the Mary Celeste *'S position near Santa Maria Island, 400 miles away. No indication of trouble, just a routine entry, then silence. Personal belongings remained untouched. Captain Briggs's desk held his navigation tools, a sewing machine was found in his cabin, and his daughter's piano still sat in its place. It was as if everyone had simply stepped off for a moment, never to return. Food and water supplies were plentiful. There was no sign of a struggle, no blood, no ransacking. The crew's pipes and tobacco were left in their bunks. The scene defied all logic, a ghost ship sailing without its ghosts. The *de Gracia* crew, under maritime salvage law, brought the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar. An official inquiry was launched, seeking to understand the inexplicable disappearance. The court, however, found no definitive answers. One popular theory suggested piracy. But why would pirates leave valuable cargo untouched, take only the crew, and leave the ship otherwise undisturbed? It didn't fit the typical pattern of marauders. Another theory involved mutiny. Perhaps the crew turned on Captain Briggs, but again, no signs of a struggle, no blood. And why abandon a perfectly good ship with valuable cargo? The evidence simply wasn't there. Some posited an attack by a giant squid or sea monster. A dramatic, thrilling explanation, but completely unsupported by any physical evidence on the ship. The Mary Celeste showed no signs of external damage. Perhaps the most plausible explanation points to an explosion. Remember those 700 barrels of industrial alcohol? Some theorize a buildup of fumes or a minor explosion caused the crew to panic and abandon ship. The absence of the binnacle, a crucial navigation instrument, could support this. If an explosion occurred, perhaps the crew believed the ship was compromised. They might have taken to the lifeboat, intending to wait out the danger, tethered to the ship. A sudden storm or a snapped rope could have then separated the lifeboat from the Mary Celeste*. Once adrift in the open ocean in a small boat, their chances of survival would have been slim to none. This scenario accounts for the missing lifeboat and the untouched cargo. Another, more mundane theory suggests a waterspout. A sudden, violent column of water could have lifted the crew and lifeboat from the deck without significantly damaging the ship itself. It's rare, but not impossible. The captain's cutlass found in his cabin could also be explained. If he feared an explosion, he might have used it to open barrels to release pressure or to cut the lifeboat free in a hurry. It doesn't necessarily point to foul play. The Mary Celeste continued to sail under different names and owners for many years after her infamous discovery. Each journey, however, seemed to carry the weight of her past. She was almost cursed, it seemed, a perpetual reminder of the unknown. In 1885, her story took a final, somewhat fitting turn. While under the command of Captain Gilman C. Parker, the Mary Celeste was deliberately run aground off the coast of Haiti in an attempted insurance fraud. The old ghost ship finally laid to rest. The mystery of the Mary Celeste captivated the public imagination then, and it continues to do so today. She has inspired countless stories, novels, and films, each attempting to fill the void of what truly happened on that fateful voyage. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle even penned a short story, J. Habakkuk Jeffson's statement, offering his own fictional resolution, a tale of revenge and a lost tribe, further cementing the Mary Celeste's place in popular culture. But the truth, the real truth of what transpired, remains elusive. No bodies were ever found. No definitive evidence ever emerged to fully explain the disappearance of Captain Briggs, his family, and his crew. The Mary Celeste stands as one of maritime history's greatest and most enduring enigmas. A quiet, empty vessel, carrying a story of absence that continues to echo across the centuries. A ship that sailed itself into legend, leaving only questions in her wake. Her story reminds us that some treasures aren't gold or jewels, but the mysteries themselves, challenging us to look deeper into the shadows of history. What other ghost ships whisper tales from the deep? Let me know in the comments.